Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're dealing with that sharp, really annoying pain on the inside of your elbow, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to walk through a super simple taping technique that's going to help you manage that pain and get right back to your game.
You know that feeling, right? You've had a great day on the course, but then it hits you. That sharp, nagging pain right on the inside of your elbow. If that sounds a little too familiar, you're in exactly the right place. We've got a practical solution for you.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll quickly cover what actually causes golfer's elbow. Then we'll get our tape ready. After that, we'll dive into the 3 key steps for applying it. And finally, we'll wrap up with some important tips. Let's get right into it.
All right, section 1. Let's take a quick look at what's really going on inside your elbow. Understanding the why is always the first step to figuring out an effective how.
So, what is golfer's elbow? Well, despite the name, it's actually a pretty straightforward repetitive strain injury. Just think about it for a second. Every single swing you take puts stress on those muscles connecting your forearm to your elbow. And over time, all that stress just adds up.
So how do we deal with this? The answer is kinesio tape. This stuff is pretty amazing, actually. It can help prevent the injury from happening in the first place, or it can provide some much-needed support and relief if you're already feeling that pain.
Okay, let's get hands-on. Now, getting the preparation right is absolutely key to making this whole thing work. So, taking just a minute here to get this right is going to make all the difference. We're going to use 3 separate pieces of tape, and each one has a very specific job. Okay, for tape 1, which is for muscle support, you're going to measure from your wrist all the way to that bony part on your inner elbow, and then add 1 extra square from the tape's backing paper. We'll call that a unit. For tape 2, which is for the wrist, you'll need a piece that's 3 units long. And for tape 3, the one that gives you direct relief, you'll need a 4-unit piece.
All right, here we go. This is the heart of the whole technique. Let's walk through these 3 steps together. Getting this part right is what really brings the relief.
Now, before we start applying anything, I need you to commit this phrase to memory. This is the golden rule of taping, seriously. When you're taping over a muscle, you apply the tape with no stretch. But when you're going over a joint, you apply tension. It's that simple, and it's the secret to making this whole thing work.
Okay, step 1 is all about protecting that muscle. So I want you to straighten your arm out with your palm facing down and then bend your wrist as far as you can to really stretch out that forearm. Now take your first longest piece of tape, apply it from your wrist up to your inner elbow. And remember that golden rule. This is going over the muscle so you apply it with absolutely 0 stretch.
Now for step 2, we're moving to the wrist. Grab that 3-unit piece of tape. Here's the cool part about this step. By stabilizing the wrist joint, you actually reduce the shock and vibrations that travel up your arm to your elbow. So, following our rule for joints, you're going to wrap this piece around your wrist with a good moderate stretch.
And finally, step 3. This one goes right after the source of the pain. Take your 4-unit piece and stick one end, the anchor, right on that tender, bony spot on your inner elbow. Then, pull it with some tension diagonally across your forearm. This piece acts like a direct brace for that spot. And now you can see how all 3 pieces work together as a complete support system.
Awesome job. The tape is on, but hold on, we're not quite done yet. Let's just quickly cover a few final tips to make sure you get the absolute most out of this and, of course, stay safe.
Just a few key things to remember. First, and this is a big one, apply the tape before you play. It's for prevention, not just for reacting to pain. Second, remember that tape is a great support, but it's not a cure. Regular, consistent stretching is really your best long-term defense. And of course, this should go without saying, but if you're already under a doctor's care for this, please check with them before trying this.
So there you have it. Look, this isn't a magic wand, but it is a really powerful tool that puts you back in the driver's seat when it comes to your elbow health. Now you have a simple, effective way to manage that pain and stop it from ruining your game.
So the next time you're heading out to the course, just remember this technique. It only takes a couple minutes, but it can honestly make a world of difference. The only question is, are you ready to play pain-free?